Armel Le Clerck is stopped in Brazil for repairs, as the leading Ultim's duel rages on, as they aim for a first low-pressure ride. Since the middle of last week, the ARKEA ULTIM CHALLENGE Brest fleet may have dispersed significantly, but the leading duo Tom Le Clerck, SVR and Charles Caudrelier, Maxi de Rothschild, are still less than 50 miles apart, making around 34 to 35.5 knots, sailing south-southeast of Salvador de Bahia, Brazil, and starting to slant onto a favorable angle, east of south, charging towards the longitude of the Cape of Good Hope, which they should pass Friday. About 430 nautical miles behind, Thomas Coville, Sodebo Ultim III, is working round the St. Helena High alone, now that his pacing partner Armel Le Clerck, Maxi Banque Populaire XI, has been stopped in Recife since this morning. Le Clerck should leave again tomorrow, expected to time his departure from the Brazilian port at the required 24 hours minimum stipulated by the rules for a skipper who accepts help for a pit stop. Meantime, in 5th Anthony Marchand, actual Ultim III, passed the equator at 10:57:43 hours UTC this morning, while Eric Perron, Ultim Adagio, has finally passed Cape Verde and found strong winds. In Brazil, Armel Le Clerck's repairs have started. The Maxi Banque Populaire XI arrived in the port of Recife in Brazil just before 0740 hours UTC. A team from Banque Populaire was waiting for her, so that they could begin repairs as soon as the boat was docked. The team had communicated during Sunday evening that Armel would stop, and he is the first competitor on the ARKEA ULTIM CHALLENGE Brest to do so. His team were unanimous: the skipper should not go into the Big South with no pulpit on the main hull of the white and blue Ultim. His big gennaker flew off at the tack and tore off the pulpit during Wednesday night's gales. Continuing the race without the pulpit, which keeps me safe during manoeuvres, would be impossible, Armel said. Maxi Banque Populaire XI also has an issue with the hydraulics on the starboard foil, which would not go right down, and the team was standing by to repair. "We will be back to sea tomorrow morning," reiterated the skipper. So many things can still happen, the race is far from over. According to the SAS, which stipulate the minimum of 24 hours, the Maxi Banque Populaire XI will not be able to leave before 0738 am UTC tomorrow morning.
Il y a un problème sur le gennaker. La voile s'est décrochée de l'avant et en fait elle est venue arracher le balcon avant. J'ai continué la course, notamment dans les mers du Sud, sans le balcon à l'avant qui me protège et qui me sécurise. Quand je vais manœuvrer, c'était impossible. On a eu un deuxième souci d'hydraulique, là pour le coup c'est le foil qui est complètement remonté. Voilà, il y a une fuite hydraulique, on ne sait pas encore d'où ça vient. C'est un contre-la-montre qui commence avec toute l'équipe qui est mobilisée, chacun sait ce qu'il a à faire. On va essayer de réparer rapidement tous ces petits problèmes et repartir normalement dans 24 heures.
Back in the race, Le Clerck and Caudrelier are still having a really close duel after 8 days of racing. Their duel is impressive, and it is exciting, as it is for the skippers. Tom Le Clerck, SRV and Charles Caudrelier, Maxi de Rothschild, are only separated by around 45 miles at the head of the fleet. Being so close forces to keep the rhythm up, it is quite exhilarating and fascinating, Le Clerck said this morning. "It is very intense, and it pushes us really hard, but it's a good fight. There may be a slight slowdown in the evening, but otherwise, the conditions are ideal," enthuses Guillaume Rotti, the race director. They are both looking to have a good timing to hook into a depression, probably from Wednesday, which will take them at least to the Kerguelens. That low promises downwind conditions, the winds averaging 25 to 35 knots, which will take them to the first of the three Great Capes, Good Hope, probably on Friday. The depression that will boost them east does take them up against the ZEA, Antarctic exclusion zone, warns race director Rot. It will force them to do a lot of maneuvers, it will be very intense. More than 400 miles behind Thomas Coville, so Debo Ultim III is now third. Having been racing side by side with Armel Le Clerck for a long time, Coville is now on his own as he transits the western side of the St. Helena anticyclone. But what is concerning for the 8 times round-the-world circumnavigator Coville is that he won't make it onto the same depression as the first two. The door will close, the anticyclone will expand again, which will not be easy, specifies Rot.